The following clip comes from our Dino Hunter series. Check out the full program using the provided links.
When news of Mary's discovery came out, Mark was captivated and decided to start his own research.
I looked carefully at the interviews, I scoured online what was available, and then I downloaded Mary Schweitzer's papers and I read the papers, and the protocols were very easy for me to implement. There was a couple of things that I had to learn about, particularly the EDTA, which is the weak acid that the bones are dissolved in. But I had done some decalcification before, and so I thought, wow, this is a project that I could do, that we could do with the CRS. Wow, what if we find soft tissue?
Because he took the Bible literally, he believed in the young age of Earth, and that most fossils were formed during the worldwide flood. Mark hypothesized that dinosaur soft tissue was much more prevalent in the fossil record than everyone had thought. Because the bones were only a few thousand years old, they should be easy to find.
I tend to think that soft tissue in dinosaur remains, and probably in most remains in the fossil record, contain soft tissue. I really think that's the norm and the exception, and I would like to go out and prove that.
Mark proposed to the CRS that a research project be established to find soft tissue in the Hell Creek Formation. Mark and the research team came up with iDino for the project name, which stands for the Investigation of Dinosaur Intact Natural Osteotissue. After formalizing the research project and getting funding, it was time to go searching for a sample.
I didn't really know where to start. I was very happy when my colleague said, why don't you contact Otis Klein? This is a site that's free and clear owned by Otis and his foundation, and so we weren't going to be collecting on government land. I asked Otis if he could, in his travels throughout the site, because he has people come from time to time and they do week-long digs and such, would he be so kind as to look for a long bone? Sure, no problem. But he never found one, and so I thought, well, why don't we take a different approach? So we selected a time period, we went up there, we interfaced with Otis, and at the time the Montana Bible College students were there. Every day they would go to the same site. So it was very interesting to learn the process, how to remove the material from around the bone that you were interested in removing, how to handle it, how to paint it with the polymer. Next day we went out on another site and were led to two different places where it was thought that Triceratops material would be found. Everything was exposed on the surface, and as you might imagine, when these bones are exposed on the surface, they're highly weathered. This is in the Badlands of Montana, so very harsh conditions. The winters cold and long, a lot of wind, a lot of erosion, a lot of water, snow action. And so the bones found on the surface or just below the surface are really of poor quality. And so we looked at those and we took them, we thought, well, okay, we'll try those, but we're not very hopeful of what we'd find. We drove up as far as we could drive in the truck, and then we had to get out and hike for a while through these Badland hills. And we got up to the top of a hill, and there was a Triceratops horn portion. It was about the size of a large coffee can in width and depth. It had these wonderful ridges all the way around it where the bone and the keratin that was once there met. But it was hard as a rock and very heavy. It was covered in lichens, orange and yellow lichens. It was very beautiful, so we left it. But we said, no, that's probably not going to work for us. And then we were kind of kicking around, and just below the horn, where the brow turned into sort of a cliff, Marge, the ranch owner, noticed something sticking out of the side of the cliff. She kind of said, well, I think that's a Triceratops horn. So we started digging, and of course we were kind of hanging on the side of the cliff as we were digging, and then later we were laying down on our stomachs leaning over the cliff. We had to dig in about 40 inches and down about 3 feet because the horn was at an angle. It was extending out of the cliff a little bit, but most of the wide end of the horn was there, and then it tapered into the cliff, and it was covered by about a 6 to 8 inch piece of hard crystalline rock most of the way, and then it was unconsolidated material. So we got the unconsolidated dirt off, and then bang, 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 we started hitting this hard rock. So we had to go get big hammers, and big screwdrivers out of the truck. And we were literally pounding with all our might. It took us 8 hours to take the whole bone out, but about 4 hours just to get the hard overburden off of it. So finally we got the whole thing excavated and it looked intact. It was obviously the horn of an adult Triceratops, whether male or female, we don't know. So we photographed it, we painted it with the polymer glue, we photographed it again, we measured it, and then we covered it with the burlap and the plaster of Paris and the tin foil. We made sort of a jacket. Once the jacket dried, we tried to roll it over and it kind of came apart into several pieces. So we sort of just rolled it completely over and then scooped it up and put it on a pallet and took it to the truck. And from there we brought it to the lab. We did send one piece for carbon-14 dating, and the date came back within about 40 to 43,000 years.
Thanks for watching our content. Awesome Science Media has produced over 50 hours of great kids programs and documentaries on science from a biblical worldview. Want to see it all? The two best ways are streaming it on our Patreon channel or purchasing it for download on our online store. Check out the links below. Get access to our full kids programs and documentaries by supporting our Awesome Science Media page on Patreon. Get behind-the-scenes segments, photos, and bonus interviews. There are also complete curriculum guides, teacher guides, student guides, and discussion tools. There are fun extras like coloring pages, word finds, and activity sheets. Plus supporter-only updates, live hangouts, podcasts, and blogs. Sign up for free to get our updates or cancel at any time with any of our monthly paid plans. Don't want to subscribe? Have it your way. You can just purchase our content and teaching materials. Every option supports us to reach even more families worldwide with faith-building science content. Sign up today at patreon.com/Awesome Science Media. Or buy our content and download it from our online store at awesomescienceshop.com. You can purchase individual programs or save money and buy the entire series. Each title comes with a download link for your local device, plus a streaming link if you want to use that instead. Our online store also includes teacher resources, merchandise, and additional resources such as books and guides. Check us out today at awesomescienceshop.com. See the link below to access our full episodes.